the way that we kind of practice habits, it can be either our greatest gift or our greatest like setback. And I wish that the idea of my world is that you don't even have to be praised for like just accepting someone for who they are. When I'm meditating, I can hear people in my head, all the negative feedback, all the shame that I've felt, all this like, you're stupid, you're an idiot, like, why did you say that? Why? Oh my God. And I can just kind of live with it.
Embrace boredom, right? If you're waiting in line for a sandwich, put your phone down. Like, wait the 5-10 minutes. Just be active meditation, boredom.
Boom.
Be fucking bored. It's fine to be bored.
Boom. I don't know. I think that I look back at my own music and I'm happy. I don't know. I think that I do cringe a little, but like, I'm like, damn, I mean, like, this was the kid that had to like talk about his real shit in order to get here.
Check. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, bet.
I mean, you're also right in front of me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Silent Smirk podcast, where we believe that everyone's lives are just as complex as their own. We've got the first guest of the year, Eddie Zhou. Eddie is a facilitator and practicum leader of the Meditation Club and co-founder of Umass's Freestyle Club. He's also an artist under the name of Golden Orchid. Orchid or Orchid?
Orchid.
Orchid, right? Where he is constantly releasing new music to the public and always freestyling. I can attest to that, trust me. Many of his hobbies and interests are aligned with mine, so we have two powerhouses in the building today. And I'm excited to see where this podcast takes us. Eddie, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Yeah, that was...
So let's do a little bit of a warm-up, right? Get you comfortable.
Yeah.
Give me an average day in the life.
Average day in the life of Edward. They call it Zhou, but it's actually Zhou in Chinese. But
really?
Yeah,
Zhou.
Zhou. I wake up. I kind of like get in tune, trying to get myself started for the day. I like to just kind of chill, vibe, maybe make some breakfast, 3 eggs, avocado, and some toast. You ever cook toast or toast in a frying pan?
No. Well, I have, but you got to elaborate. How do you do that?
Okay, so I think that the way that we are now, we're all really spoiled by toasters.
Okay.
And my roommate, he's very like cost effective. So, and he's really good at cooking. So he'll like teach me like new ways to cook that like kind of blow my mind. So he's like, yo, check this out. He cracks 2 eggs right up in the frying pan, put toast on the eggs so the eggs absorb in the bread, and then at the same time the toast is being cooked. So
does it come out crispy?
It comes out really crispy and absorbs right in it. It's perfect. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent. After that, try to get some, I don't know. It's like each day is different, you know what I mean? But I think that generally I want to get something creative, something meditative in before I go to sleep. But some days it's different.
Yeah. So anything else other than meditation that you do before bed?
These days, you know what I've been doing? It's like game changer. Just literally creative writing. Like,
so journaling, or is it just
kind of fictional writing? Like storytelling. Yeah,
I want to build off of that because I've told you many times, right? You got me into journaling, and I'm really grateful that you did. But I'm curious to know that what got you into that?
It was during the beginning of what I'd consider my like quote unquote like spiritual renaissance. As funny as that sounds, it's like understanding where I was by the end of high school and how dissatisfied I was with life, even though things should have been cool on paper. Like, I was going to college. I had like a social circle. Things just didn't feel right. And this is a very like, it could go very like deep quickly here, but generally I just need ways to heal, need ways to understand myself, need ways to understand like why wasn't I feeling the way I thought you were supposed to be feeling. Like all this knowledge that I was building off of the world and what I was supposed to do, how I was supposed to fit in, what box I was supposed to be in. And I was just in my soul, in my heart, like it wasn't pumping the way it was supposed to. And then journaling was a way for me to kind of ask questions. Why not? Like, and then I could write down thoughts. I mean, CBT, have you heard of CBT?
No.
CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, is was a tool that I used originally trying to go into therapy, understand my mental illness, and yeah, I mean it's a way of understanding thoughts, behavior, and feelings. Understanding that each one of them almost like a cycle, like reduce, reuse, recycle. Now think of it like behavior, feelings, and cognition in a cycle. They all affect one another in some way. So depending on how I think, I'm going to feel a different way. And depending on how I feel, I'm going to behave in a different way. So, but it was understanding the thought patterns that we have, like, because we are conscious creatures that tend to think, tend to think a lot, tend to go in different paths of criticism or some kind of tangent of how something is like your fault or something. We can really convince ourselves inside our heads. It's completely, you can't hear it. And that was affecting me deeply. So understanding my thought patterns, understanding my belief patterns. It's still something I'm working on seriously. But that was like the root of it all.
Yeah, and then you also mentioned that you weren't feeling how, you thought you were supposed to be feeling, or how everyone, creates this golden feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone really feels that way, to be honest with you.
I don't think so either.
I think they just like created this image, this vision of what you're supposed to be feeling, tailored to consumerism, really, at this point in the way the Western world is progressing. And then you're always striving to keep up with it, but in that pursuit, you're never actually getting to it. You're depressed, maybe not that's extensive, but you're never getting there, and you're always feeling this emotional dissatisfaction.
It can cause depression.
Yes,
like
really.
People always wonder why, like, depressive rates are skyrocketing or anxiety rates are skyrocketing, and they kind of think that it's the person that's disordered, and that is something that is so easy to believe. Because we're creatures of negative bias. We have a negativity bias. We tend to search for what's wrong with us before we search for what's wrong with what is around us. And actually, one thing that I saw recently was that neurodivergence is shamed in our society, or shame creates the sense of like neurodivergence.
And then what is neurodivergence?
Yeah, exactly what I've been trying to like figure out, I'm like, okay, wait, what's neurodivergence? Because a lot of neurodivergence is like mental kind of illness, and on paper that doesn't sound really great, but I'd say neurodivergence is just simply a different way of believing, feeling in relation to what is accepted in societal standards that that can be kind of ostracized, and it feels like the world treats neurodivergent people as the one that are disordered, when in reality, I saw on Reddit that we are born into a disordered world. Like, you think of anyone like with autism or ADHD, or in my case, kind of like who's an HSP, like
an HSP.
Yeah, sorry, a lot of terms in my head. Sorry. I will be explaining these.
Sure.
Yeah, HSP, which is a highly sensitive person, which I think that you are too, and a lot of people around us are basically someone who doesn't really fit the kind of mold. But there's so many like superpowers that come with these quote unquote disorders. There's imagination, there's focus, there's like an honest motivation that you can be sensed in a room. I mean, seriously, like autism, for example, a lot of people with autism have like trouble like lying. They have trouble like seeing things like in a way where it's kind of conforming into a societal standard. So, maybe, for example, like having eye contact, which is a societal standard, which I'm doing right now. Which feels like, okay, that's how you know that you're communicating with someone and how you know that they're caring about what you're saying. A lot of people with autism simply don't have that neurological kind of wiring because instead they're deeply trying to understand how to approach the issue or approach the conversation with a set of eyes that are kind of more real. I don't know, genuine. And this is something that like I have more research to do on, but this is something that's been in my mind.
Yeah, and I am definitely with you, right? These things can be superpowers, but they can also be a disadvantage because depending on your viewpoint, you can let them drag you down. You can let, what society tells you how you're supposed to perceive things, how you
Yes.
are to be perceived, and you're comparing that with who you truly are, right? The more you fight who you truly are, the more depressed, the more you fall down below. Because I
Exactly.
think you're meant to be who you truly are. And if you're autistic, then go crazy, man. Like
Yeah.
use that to your advantage, and you need to be to an extent unapologetic about it, right? Own these superpowers. Be grateful for them, right? It's
Yeah.
how you view them.
It's just like tragic in my view because it's just upsetting, like growing up seeing so many kids with parents that have unsolved trauma of their own and societal templates that didn't suit them and templates that are now being thrown onto like these kids, which force them to learn because our human brains are amazing at like learning. They're amazing at just catching patterns and doing like, therefore you behave in a way that's conformative, that you don't even understand. But that's just kind of where my brain's been at because I've been struggling with this for my whole life. I mean, I think I have a lot of shame about mental illness, mental conditions that are different than the world. I think that I have a lot of like feelings of like weakness because it's a cultural kind of norm. So
I mean, do you think it's becoming more accepted?
definitely feeling. See, this is the thing. I'm kind of disconnected from like general kind of pop culture or what the trends are in terms of like acceptance of all of this. But I think generally, I mean, to my mind, but I'm surrounded with people that will talk about it with me very openly, and to me, that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think people are a lot more accepting now as it is. However, I think the big, conception of people being, not understanding comes from people being scared to interact with each other. Let me give you an example, right? Like myself, I have no issues with people who are transgender,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, none of my friends are transgender. I don't have any acquaintances who are transgender. I have very little interaction with people who are transgender, and I'm afraid to interact with them because I'm scared of offending them,
Yeah.
right? And then that's my viewpoint on it. And, obviously exposure, right? That's how I'd get over it. And then someone who's transgender might view me, oh, like he's scared to approach me. Maybe he doesn't like me. When it's just like a misunderstanding on both sides, and it's just such a shame. And
It's
I
a
think
shame.
we
Yeah.
got to continue pushing it through exposure. And this goes to people on the spectrum, people LGBTQ plus dot just exposure, because I really think that the majority of people don't care. It's just the lack of interaction that's creating
Yeah.
this hostility.
You know, when you say exposure, what comes to my mind is integration and kind of when I think of that, I think of equality in a way.
Yeah.
Like I think of, but equality is like so. It's kind of like a term that's almost glorified and like people feel like, oh my God, you're such like a, yo, like, I don't know, like you care about equality, like this is like great. And yes, it is, but I wish that it didn't have to be so like such a prominent thing. Like, why can't everyone like this? I'm an idealistic person. I wish that the idea of my world is that you don't even have to be praised for like just accepting someone for who they are. I don't know. Because that praise comes from a place of we need it, which means something is lacking in society, which means, right, if you need it, then what's going on?
Yeah, and I mean, you went to LS, right?
Yeah.
Lincoln Sudbury. I went to AB. We both, at least the school I went to was was fairly diverse. And although everyone was on the board of equality, you could still see these differences in communities solely based off of one's identity, race, ethnicity, dot dot dot. And it was such a shame because you have this beautiful mix of people in the same place, but they're all in their separate groups. And imagine what potential there could be, the mix of ideas, cultures, beliefs, if people just mixed freely, openly. So it wasn't so like homogenous, right? Like everyone as one.
Yeah, and that's a really like that's like an issue of, I feel like, educating people, but also teachers and adults about psychology, the way we behave. Actually, it's funny you say LS because I went back to LS just to see my teachers the other day.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was it?
At first I didn't even expect it, so I was very anxious.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. And I was almost kind of triggered because it wasn't like necessarily the safest or most supportive space for me.
LS.
Yeah, LS. But when I went there, I did feel the sense of, oh, well, I did have teachers that really made a lasting impact on me. And one of those teachers, history teacher, I'm just going to not say her name for anonymous purposes, but she was like the best coach, mentor, history teacher, and person that I could kind of have the fortune of having, who was enthusiastic about having compassion and like really like morals and having this agenda of, okay, it's not that we're pushing like anything, it's that we need to help people wake up. And when I saw her, it was amazing. I mean, it was like we didn't really even skip a beat, and I could talk to her as like a friend. It was like beautiful. But she was talking about how she has a class that's like sports in America, like history of sports in America, and how there's like literally like only 2 girls in the class and like everyone else is like guys, and guys who suffer, in my opinion, from toxic masculinity. Like,
did she say that, or is that your opinion?
that's my opinion. But she did say that these guys were really like laughing at like transgender, like when when that section came up, or laughing at LGBTQ rights within sports, women's rights,
Yeah.
and like I think our world kind of like sees that as like, oh, but they're like teen boys and they need to grow up and like it's normal. No, that shit's not normal. Not in my opinion.
Yeah, I understand. Because I think it's a serious matter.
Yeah.
And I think regardless of the side you're on, it's very controversial and it needs to be discussed seriously. And what part of the guys' interactions do you think is caused by them being in that pack mentality?
I don't know.
The boys are there, they're laughing.
It's like fragility or something.
Yeah.
It's because like whatever the concept or construct of being a man is in society, it, in my view, just always links back to the sense of like need to prove your superiority or something. Like I remember when I was in high school, like this narcissistic guy that I was like also a part of like the friend group. He was talking about, yeah, I saved like my sister who was like about to fall in the Grand Canyon. Yeah, like believe me, like I had to like really like pull her up, and it was like no one else could do it. Like you just like you couldn't like even understand. It's like so aggrandizing. There's like just a lot of like I'll be like, damn, that's awesome, man. Like, oh my God, you're like this hero, you're a savior. And he was just standing there, like almost like flexing, like, yeah.
Yeah.
But like metaphorically, the same fucking dude who tried to scam me and sell me broken headphones. Like, running away from accountability and running towards like grandiosity is my opinion.
That's toxic masculinity.
Yes.
Running away from accountability and running towards grandiosity.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a part of toxic masculinity. I think it doesn't encompass the whole thing. You're definitely right. I think I think it's important for we've had this conversation many times, right? And I guess we'll have it on air now. But I think it's important for and again, there's men are different, right? We're not all the same.
No.
We all think differently. But if you're a man and you choose to identify as one, part of you needs to embrace your masculinity, right? Like what biologically and inherently makes you different.
Sure.
Part of that is your strength, your want to provide, defend, things like that, right? And again, it's different on all levels.
Mm-hmm.
But if you identify as a man, I think it's important to go with these masculine traits. Now, it can get toxic, and that's where society is steering us in the wrong direction. Like, we're saying it's okay for a man to go around and be promiscuous and not care about the feelings of the women who they're involved with, right? I think that's toxic. I think it's toxic for a man to neglect their emotions, right? There's this huge conception of a man being the stoic, great figure. And yes, stoicism is important to an extent, but when a man neglects his emotion, wants to like thug it out, be tough, part of what makes a great man is to embrace your emotion, but not let it take control of you.
That's a great point,
Right.
and honestly, that is probably toxic masculinity for me. Like when I was growing up, like seriously. But actually, I have another story.
Yes, please.
Yeah, my friend, we'll call him Jim.
Okay.
Went through Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
Man, like he is like exactly prototype of what you just described. Like, good guy.
Yeah.
A victim of his circumstance, but not a victim permanently. A victim when he was in high school, and he was the stoic kind of. He was literally like Greek. He was like, and I see that as like kind of like an archetype of like Greek men. Like, I don't know. It's like, I might sound stupid saying
like
this,
the
but
Greek god. Right?
Yeah, Greek gods.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, like Zeus or something.
Yeah.
And he really liked that, and he was like really stoic. He was very quiet, very like he didn't share his feelings, and he went through a lot of trauma, like serious stress from his father and his life in general, of being born into a situation that was not ideal. Like, and I think that we talked about it a lot, which is amazing. Like, I love to open those doors. What I wish we then talked about was, okay, what ways can I understand my past, and how can I take these steps to go into like more supportive spaces, or ways that I can heal myself without relying on like a one size fit all, like therapy or something. Because he was talking about, therapy just doesn't work, and we didn't know much about it.
Did he go to therapy, or was that just...
No, he did. Okay. Yeah, he did. And so there's a sense of hopelessness, but I think a lot of that was because the atmosphere of like, you're okay, like you're a man.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's no shame if you're a man.
No shame.
Something to reach out, and I'm guilty of it myself. Like, like I go through my shit, I stay silent about it. Like, oh, they don't need to know. I'll be fine. So yeah, it's something I'm working on too. But I guess, you know, with my close friends, I have no issue expressing what I'm going through around other people. You know, it varies. But you mentioned therapy, and you're a senior at Umass Amherst studying psychology, right?
This is
Are
true.
you looking to get into therapy?
I am looking to go into therapy. Well, become a social worker
Okay.
with a licensed therapy kind of license.
Right. Is there a particular, you know, field in social work that excites you?
Yeah, where do I like want to go? Who do I want to help?
Yeah.
What do I want to practice? These are questions that have been on my mind, which is I'm glad you asked these questions.
Yeah, of course.
This is where I feel like the string that connects all these ideas of mental health, mental illness, trauma, like toxic masculinity, and my past kind of can be strung together into this beautiful kind of, I don't know, like crocheted beanie.
Yeah.
But recently I've been like understanding like, okay, what am I really going through? Because I've been at this for 4 years, my healing and everything. And for me, it's like comes down to my sense of self. Like my sense of self, very down deep in my heart, is just a kid who wants to feel deeply. And
so in the past, you weren't able to feel deeply?
no, I mean, I think that ever since like middle school, maybe I like to say like around 8th grade onward until now, is like just expectations and pressure and conformity and for me, I was like, I can do it. Like I can show myself. I was like, I have this weird sense of like I will prove that anything is possible. But I wish I could tell like little Eddie like, yeah, anything is possible. But sometimes things that are possible are things you do not want to put your feet in. Like you do not want to go down that route because these things that are possible will lead to only furthering pushing down of who you really are. Like, and that's what's beautiful because you really do have your true self. I believe that. Anyways, you true me. You know? And lately I've been realizing that I might have borderline personality disorder. Disorder being anything in life that is not that is so distorted where it is limited, like like support circles, like what you believe you deserve out of life, romance, like.
Wait, can you start again from like? So you said you had personality disorder as
borderline.
Borderline. Yeah. Can you like go back there and then continue?
Exactly. Yeah. Sure. This is something that, even in the mental health community, is really like not that well understood. There's a lot of like different ideas about it, but think of it this way: you don't need trauma to have borderline personality disorder. Sorry, my ideas are just kind of like
no, keep going. Don't apologize.
Borderline personality disorder is like this disorder that is characterized by low self-esteem and distorted thoughts and, most importantly, intense emotions.
Right.
So these three this trifecta of some sort, which plays into a role of you feel like you have almost like like not a layer of skin that most people do. And that kind of can create like pain, or more pain than you need to feel, because there's shame on top of your pain that you're already feeling from the world. So think of it this way: like if I'm losing this layer of skin, then then emotions are amplified. And when emotions are amplified, what does amplification mean? Well, to me, it means how quick you feel something and how long it lasts for.
For me, it's intensity.
And that could also be intensity.
Yeah.
You know, intensity, think of it like this way, right? Intensity is like you feel it in your heart deeply, but what does deeply mean? To me, it is simply how quick you feel it and how long it lasts for. The second part is so important to me, because the second, like, think of it this way. All right.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah. Imagine you like yell at me, like you're angry at me or something. Like
okay.
I
Can't imagine that, but
yeah, I left the stove on overnight, and you're my roommate, and you're like, Eddie, bro, what the fuck? And then on the outside, it might seem like, oh, I'm sorry, man, like that's my beat. But internally, especially as a kid, like I would have cried. Like,
Yeah,
you know, I would have felt like, damn, what the fuck's wrong with me? Like things are like just like so amplified. Like fuck me. Like, you know, I hate myself. Like,
right.
damn, I suck. The world could be better off without me. And it's so quick. And then the thing is, most people could regulate off of that. Like that's normal. It's like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, you know. And nowadays I can, like, better than before. But people with borderline personality disorder don't have this emotional regulation strategies as most like people who can regulate their emotions easier, negative
Sure.
emotions. It's also called emotional dysregulation disorder.
Emotional dysregulation disorder.
I know, right? EDD. That's why my name's Ed. But yeah.
I mean, I don't think I have personality disorder.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I've been working on, right? I used to let my emotions take control over me. And, via the process of meditation and discipline, I've exerted, not perfect, I'm far from perfect, but I've exerted more control over said emotions, and specifically meditation. And I want to touch base on your experience with it. So how has meditation helped you with your mental health?
Sure, yeah. It's a very elegant way of connecting mental health to meditation. Yeah. I started meditating around that same period that I started journaling. Everything just happened at once, COVID, and meditation has helped me like profoundly.
Yeah.
Like intensely, because of so many reasons, but I think the main reason is getting myself in touch with my core, your true self.
Mm-hmm.
Frick all this other stuff. Like seriously, when I'm meditating, I can hear people in my head, all the negative feedback, all the shame that I've felt, all this like, you're stupid, you're an idiot, like why did you say that? Why? Oh my God. And I can just kind of live with it.
Yeah.
I could literally just like let it go in my head, and I'll be like, that's what they hear. But inside I hear like almost like a cleaning.
Yeah.
Like I'm cleaning a spot on my like mirrored self that's been so distorted. And yeah, I mean, ever since I kind of went through a spiritual awakening through it too, of the self that I didn't really want to live as anymore. And ever since, it's just been history.
Yeah, you came out of your shell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I guess like for me, my entrance to meditation, it came not necessarily from doubting myself. It came from my lack of ability to sleep.
Oh.
And then, because my mind was always racing, I can't fall asleep while thinking.
Right.
It's so difficult. And then there's this, gosh, I forgot the guy's name. I'll probably say it abruptly at some point.
Sure.
But he has a TED Talk, Richard Jefferson or Davidson, something like that. He has a TED Talk, and clinical studies have shown that a wandering mind is an unhappy mind. And, in the past, my mind would be wandering. I'd always be in the past. I'd be in the future, right?
Exactly.
My mind wasn't there, and
Yes.
I wasn't content with what I had in life. And that led to, like, at night, it was heightened, right? Like, it was just agitating, right? Because when you think, emotions, they're associated with emotions. And back then, right, I'm like an 18-year-old kid who wants to party. So you can only imagine where my mind was going.
Yeah.
And at night, like, I can't stay up. Meditating. Stop. So then I started doing it more and more and more. The more I did, the more I realized, like, yo, this is valid. Like, I finish, I get up, and also I feel connected to an ever-present source.
Exactly.
Right? I call that source God.
I call that shit God.
Right? Exactly. But again, there's more clinical studies done that shows through FA focused attention meditation. I'll send you the publication.
Sure. Yeah.
That leads to more bliss. Bliss is
Mhm.
infinite happiness, and through this bliss, you're able to establish connection with the source.
I love that you mentioned bliss
Yeah,
because that is so real.
yeah, facts.
Like I don't know how it happens, but this bliss, this like mental and like spiritual rush of like
Sure.
serious, like, oh man, I could live here.
Yeah, yeah. It's a little concerning sometimes.
It's
Like, oh, I got shit to do.
I know, exactly.
You're
Like
there and
it was freshman year of like UMass where I was
Yeah.
like feeling that bliss. I'm like, dude, but I just like feel like I don't want to like go. I don't want to do like work and stuff. I just want to like lie down and like feel good. I love like it was an attraction for nature for me too.
Yeah.
That I believe that is universal. But I'm so glad that meditation helped you that way.
Yeah.
I think that I'm thinking of like what other ways meditation like helps through like other people in our club.
Freestyling. How does meditate? Because okay, like some context, right?
Yeah.
Let's we'll hop into freestyle later. But Eddie is one of the co-founders of Freestyle Club, my favorite club on campus. I cannot recommend it enough. If you're if you go to UMass and you're watching this, come to Freestyle Club. We meet on Thursdays, 7:30, Bartlett. Right, Eddie's gonna be there. I'm gonna be there.
Hell
We're
yeah,
gonna
I'm
have
gonna be there.
fire time.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, so freestyling, right?
Mm-hmm.
How has meditation helped your freestyling?
It's
like,
so
yeah.
interconnected.
Yep.
I like will just feel like I don't even have from a like intellectual view, I feel like I just have more ideas. Like
Yeah.
it feels like there's less fog
Mm-hmm.
and therefore I can approach different ideas with less like self-criticism.
Yeah.
It's easier to turn off that part.
Less self-criticism. I
Yes.
think that's huge.
Yes.
Because it's like one of those things that I kind of knew, but someone had to say that. Anyways, self-criticism.
Like you said before, like how it helped you sleep.
Yeah.
I love how you mentioned how it made you like focus on the present.
Yeah.
Like, why do I have to worry about what could have happened when that shit's done? Why do I have to worry about what will happen when that shit's still happening?
Right.
And that's exactly, you can apply that to freestyling. Why would I even have to worry about the future? I don't even care, man. I'm not a computer.
Yeah. And by the future, it's like the next bar, basically.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like, damn, I'm at the next bar. We've gone real far. I feel like I want to play guitar. Smart bar.
Yeah, dude. I feel you. Also, it's like when I freestyle, I notice it's like my best freestyles
Mhm.
is when I'm like, focused. I have pure focus, pure flow,
Yeah.
but I'm not thinking
Mhm.
because we've done it so long. Like we already have it in the bag.
Yeah, we done for a year.
Like our
now.
minds have like it's crazy. It's crazy how many rhymes we have stored up
I
there.
know.
And then we just go, and then the rhymes just like keep
It's
going.
amazing.
But you gotta focus.
Yeah.
And at the club, sometimes it's like, oh, I've had a long day. You know, I'm tired. Oh shit, I'm not feeling myself. You know, and it keeps adding up. And then at least myself, I notice that I go to the same rhyme schemes. I'm like, yeah, you know, I hit a home run. I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
And then I just feel like shit after. You know, like, I could do so much better.
Yeah, dude. I think that it's man, that'd be a cool study to read. Like, cause I'm doing my freestyle study, as
Yes,
you know.
talk about it. I'm all
Yeah,
for
definitely.
it.
Wondering how freestyling increases resilience.
Also,
Mhm.
freestyle rap to
Yeah.
anyone
Yeah,
who
yeah,
might
yeah.
not know.
But improv in general, but freestyle rap, how that can help with resilience,
Mm-hmm.
especially in a classroom setting, because at the end of the day, it's all about learning, and how can we learn in a way that's like optimized for us? Because this shit is like really fun, and obviously it's made us pretty like dynamic as people. So
Yeah.
how has that related to our resilience? How is that related to our strength, like our inner willpower to do something in adverse environments? And that's exactly what my study is trying to do. So it's taking people, freestyle people in kind of non-improv group.
Yeah.
It's exposing them to an adverse environment. It's just going to be a really boring environment.
Okay.
Almost mimicking a classroom.
Sure.
And we're asking all.
And it's a shame that classrooms are boring environments.
I
You said
know.
boring environments like like
Yeah.
a classroom.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
like, we're showing them this lecture that we pre-recorded that is intentionally very monotonous.
Mhm.
And afterwards, we're asking participants by the groups of 3 to converse with one another if they want to and complete questions to a test. simply questions. I mean, questions on a test that was about the lecture. That about
Yeah.
And like in the lecture, they're talking like, today we are talking about psychophysics. Like it's pretty boring.
Yeah.
And my theory is that, well, that boring shit, it stimulates like your resilience, because a lot of research shows actually that a boring environment, humans hate it.
Yeah.
Like we hate it. That's like why we love doing things. That's why we have active minds. But I'm purposely inducing that so that, okay, so how will these participants respond to these questions? Some participants so far have not even finished all of them. Like they just wanted to get the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm assuming that the people in improv groups
Yeah.
will stick it out till the end. And not only that, they will converse with one another
Right.
and come up with beautifully creative answers to the test.
And this is your hypothesis.
This is my hypothesis. That they'll learn more effectively in a boring environment.
So 2 things, right?
Mhm.
Have you been telling that to all of your participants who are in improv?
I think I've kind of mentioned it.
Right. I think for the integrity of the study, because that's a really good study.
Thank you.
I wouldn't spread that out as much, because then, because if you're telling me that like, hey, Mike, I'm doing this comparing, like, come in as improv, I'll be like, okay, like, I gotta do my boy Eddie, right? Like I gotta sit down, I gotta like work my way through this, right? Versus like me not knowing, like, hey, Mike, come take this test, right? I just want to let you know down there, right? I think either way you'll be fine, because I know.
Yeah.
I full-heartedly believe in your hypothesis. And then hold up, I had boredom. I think people lack the ability to sit with boredom anymore, and boredom is very helpful in helping our creativity, right? Because if you're bored, you have nothing to do. And if you're looking for things to do in that bored state, ideas come to mind, right? Actions that you want to do. And I recommend that listeners, right, you yourself, I mean, I think you and I were pretty good at addressing these things, but embrace boredom, right? If you're waiting in line for a sandwich, put your phone down. Like, wait the 5-10 minutes. Just be active meditation, boredom.
Boom.
Be fucking bored. It's fine to be bored.
Boom, yeah.
Right? Get off your phone.
Your heart's still beating.
Because also, like, people are carrying their phones in transition all the time. Like, you're walking to class, you take your phone out. It's like constantly taking you away from reality every 2 seconds, right? You're headed to the library. Like, you're not actually like fully there. You can't experience the world. You can't like hear the trees, because every 2 seconds, this, that. Be bored. Be okay. Be present. Now, speaking of being present, you facilitate meditations at Meditation Club. That to me is crazy. I'm so scared to. Like, it's one of my fears. I cannot imagine doing that.
Yeah.
What made you want to facilitate these meditations?
I just love it. I don't.
Yeah. Because you're good at it too.
Appreciate that, brother. I think that. Well, for me, I feel like for some reason I feel this sense of like obligation to. I want to live to my potential.
Yeah.
Like I feel that all the time. Like I don't want to be like someone who has regrets. And I'm nervous as hell too, when I'm doing it. But I think that it's mostly because it's helped me so much.
Yeah,
even if
give back, right?
Exactly. Even if I can't describe how it's helped me, it simply has.
No, yeah.
And I tell myself that all the time. Like I obsess over it. And seeing as people are all there for like the same purpose. I mean, not the same purpose, but you go to Meditation Club, you want to kind of get in touch a little bit.
Yeah.
It's inspiring.
Yeah, of course.
So we talk about individuals being inspiring. Well, why can't the collective be inspiring? Right?
Yeah.
We had to have a motive to move our feet towards Campus Center 908. Like that's hella out of the way.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful, man. So I'm just like, you know what? I trust our community, so I'll just go there and I don't know, I'm just kind of going with the flow, like you said. So it's not that different than freestyling from that perspective.
Yeah. So my meditation sessions, they vary, right? Sometimes I might be super present, sometimes I'm just like doing it, and I'm thinking, like I get through halfway, and my mind just starts running, and then I'm at the point that okay, like, thoughts have won.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost this battle. Do you have any advice for meditating on the tough days?
Dude,
How
that's a
to
good
get through them?
question. Yes. I think I like to remind myself of the bigger picture. Like,
Mhm.
it's like kind of like the same thing as like, well, I can't get like my fingers started on like typing this kind of story that I want to write. I don't like it's a creative dump like blockage. It's almost the same thing, like a
Mhm.
meditative blockage. And I think the most important thing is to kind of I literally like to do this. I just like rub myself on the shoulder and like I don't know. I think self-compassion is so important because it'll help you realize you don't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Shit doesn't have to be flawless. Like this timeline that we're living in is so beautiful in a way that I like to remind myself of it. So like if I sit down for meditation and I have kind of more monkey mind than usual and like I'm kind of pissed off that I can't like get in touch with like where certain pains might be or certain anxieties might be, I do get kind of discouraged. I think it's common. And sometimes it's okay. Like, I think that for me, I don't know why. I feel like really just happy that I tried. Like, putting in perspective. Like, well, at least I did it. Like, I tried.
And I think it's also important, right? Because I'm guilty of this. This is one of the biggest things I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really good at getting the things that I want to get done in the day done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And I try every single thing I do.
Yeah.
And I get it done. But sometimes, more often than not, when I try, I'm half-assing it,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think it's important to try and put your best foot forward. And if you mess up, you slip up, it doesn't go right, at least you knew that you did your best at getting it done.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Like, here's the beautiful secret of the universe that I feel like is so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Spill the tea.
No. Tell the world. No, it's like just learning. Like the way that we kind of practice habits, it can be either our greatest gift or our greatest like setback in a way. It doesn't have to be a setback, but we're beings that run off of habit, right? I know you. You're a very scheduled man, kind of. Like you like
get
to
my checks in, bro.
You get your checks in. Like you get up. I see you at Frank at like 6 a.m. I'm like, damn, this dude is nuts. I have to do this because of class. But like, no, it's amazing. But like, you have now like put that footprint in time. Like your brain has learned that pattern. In other words, it is strengthened in that area. So if you want to do it again next time, you at least have the confidence to know that you can go like to this stage. Like in other words, our psychology changes very easily.
Sure.
And when our psychology changes very easily, it's like almost like your brain already learned something before you even know it. Like freestyling.
Right.
So that's like the beautiful thing to me.
Oh, I got it.
You get what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's like music, right?
Yeah.
It might take you forever to pick up your first piece, but when you actually understand the theory behind it,
it's never leaving you.
Yeah, like playing a new piece is a lot easier than. Good point.
It's the thing is, it's never leaving you.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Wait, it never ever.
Well,
so it's like muscle memory.
Yeah.
Type. Yeah. Okay.
It's not that it like never ever leaves you. Of course, it can like you can forget things, but if you just remind yourself, like it only takes like 5 minutes of like reminding yourself, like, oh wait, I've done this freestyling before.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt in my mind that I could take like 2 years off of freestyling seriously and go back to it in maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, dude. I don't think I've ever asked you, but what got you into freestyling?
I love rap.
Yeah. Who are some hip hop artists who get you going?
Logic 301.
Logic.
Yeah, man, I fucking love Logic, man. He's such an inspiration to me. And fuck you to all the pop culture haters of Logic, man. Like seriously, suck my dick.
Yeah, fair enough.
Eminem. I like listening to Jid. Jid is really like has a really like dynamic flow. It's like na 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 na. I can't remember lyrics. I remember flow.
Sure. And you remember the feeling you get from those artists
exactly.
too.
Yeah. I just remember the feeling I get. I like listening to J. Cole. I mean, these are big names, but also Corday.
Big names. Yes, Corday.
You know Corday.
Do you listen to his freestyle?
Yeah.
Have you listened to
Corday is
whole
fire.
new level.
Yeah.
I can't. I
Dude, you're
cannot.
so good.
Actually, I have a quick side story with Corday.
Yeah.
So I was in Amsterdam in a bathroom taking a poo while my mom was asleep,
Fire.
and then I'm like, okay, and then I listened to a Corday freestyle, and I'm just losing it in the bathroom like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Anyways, Corday, who
Yeah.
else we got?
Dude, honestly, the Umass freestyle group.
Yes, sir.
I listened to
Yes, sir.
I listened to every one of us. Like I've been listening to Amarado by Hoop.
Mhm.
And he kind of goes hard on that.
Yeah, I listened to that one.
I listened to your shit on SoundCloud. I
Yep.
listened to Carter's shit on SoundCloud, and it's really good. And like, I listened to honestly like my own music. Like
Yeah,
like
as you should.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you cringe when you not your music now, but in the
Mhm.
past?
Well,
Like OG
yeah.
music.
The thing is, I think that I do cringe, but I don't think that cringe cycle. I think we can stop that cringe cycle, but because things are always becoming the past, it's almost like inevitable in a way that you
Yeah.
kind of look back and say, "Oh, I could have been better,"
Right.
because we're always getting better.
Yeah, but we're also like always comparing,
yeah,
right? That's part of the human psychology. We're
Yeah.
comparative creatures,
yeah, yeah.
and I think that's can be our demise or our success.
You know, I think that exactly like we do compare. It's kind of hard not to.
yeah, that's how we're wired.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that I look back at my own music, and I'm happy. I don't know. I think that I do cringe a little, but like I'm
Yeah.
like, damn. I mean, like, this was the kid that had to, like, talk about his real shit in
Yeah.
order to get here, and that took a lot of fucking balls.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I think that. I mean, I just love. I don't know. I love it.
I mean, true
Mhm.
music is very intimate, right?
Yeah.
You're putting so much out there.
You're literally true me.
Yeah.
And
To be honest, I don't know where I got the name from. I just remember like I'm true me.
Yeah. No, but I love it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because I believe in integrity and I believe in like purity of motivation.
Yeah, dude. I mean, now with my name, like, true me can't be on the mic. Like, yeah, I've been fucking all these hoes all the time. Like, I can't be saying that, you know. Like, I'm true me. The name holds myself accountable.
Maybe you could create an alter ego if you want to say that, and maybe you could like false me.
Capitron.
Captain Capitron.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, no, a golden orchid. I know that was a question you wanted to kind of.
Yeah, yeah. So you I don't know if you haven't released your album because I checked
No.
SoundCloud recently. It's not
not yet.
it's not out. First of all, what is the album name?
A golden orchid blooms.
Blooms. Okay, so I have a general gist of the meaning behind it. Can you elaborate some more behind the title? Of your
For
album?
sure. I appreciate you asking that. A golden orchid is supposed to be this kind of symbol of bloom and growth. It's supposed to be something that is it's a very beautiful flower. It's common in Taiwan. It's common in like Asia, and
Yeah.
it kind of symbolic of my Asian roots
Of
in a way.
course.
And I love it because you think of an orchid, you like don't even like. I like to think of it like as a hill almost,
Mhm.
with like a beautiful sun or something, or you can like make the environment, the weather, anything you want, but just like a golden orchid that is formidable against everything, that's formidable against all whatever like weather patterns are. And it's
Sure.
just sitting there on top of the hill, and it's just growing by all means. And that's my message of my music, like grow by all means.
Beauty in the face of adversity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Grow by all means and find your inner source of love. Like go inward.
Mm.
Go inward.
Yes, very well said.
Yeah.
And then a golden orchid blooms. Blooming? What was the name again?
A golden orchid
A
blooms.
golden orchid blooms. When is that out?
No timetable.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on a couple verses, but I think for now, I think that I'm in this sense of like I need to kind of mix the music, and I'm learning from Carter too tomorrow.
Oh man.
Yeah, because I realized that I like need some work and stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm excited for it to drop. I think that the thing is that it reflects I want all my music to reflect my internal mental state and
Yeah.
everything that I believe in. And
Are you working on? Are you using BandLab to mix and master?
yeah, yeah.
You gotta give me a crash course.
Oh, definitely, but
Yes.
I'm not the expert. I just
Sure.
have some tips here and there, but I think that's something that I want to talk about here
Yeah, go for it.
is maybe my insecurity lately
Mm-hmm.
with music, with sharing music, with
Right.
it's so easy for me to sit here and just like say that like I have this vision and stuff, because I do, but when I compare it, like you said before, to the objective kind of landscape of music, I feel like almost, I mean, I'm sensitive to embarrassment, and I'm sensitive to like people won't get it. Like, people are gonna think I'm like stupid or crazy or something, like, or over dramatic or motivation, like too motivational, which is cringe and stuff. And like these thoughts have been kind of unfortunately swarming me, but in ways of like belief. So I've been trying to like deal with that by just kind of understanding BPD, going back to mental health, and
bipolar,
borderline personality.
Yeah,
it's cool. I mean, we could do like some like research on it after. I'd love to show you.
Real quick, you ever seen A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe? It's more schizophrenic, but
yeah, no,
really good movie.
Yeah, I would love that. I mean, I go through dissociation. That's the thing with music. Like, I dissociate from other people reacting to it because I don't like the negativity sometimes that I may or may not perceive. But anyways, I figured I'd just kind of let that be known, because I know a lot of homies of mine that just go through the same shit.
I feel that all the time, right?
Yeah.
Because part of being fully authentic means you're expressing your soul, you're expressing your uniqueness on the track, right? Or whatever you're creating, whatever art form you're creating. By being fully authentic, like, you're showing who you really are, your true colors. And that is scary. It's mortifying.
Yeah, because we don't like to look at ourselves in the mirror.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And, you know, if the ones who judge, A, they don't have the balls to do what you're doing, right? And B, like, so what? Like, at the end of the day, people don't care as much as you think. And I always keep that in my mind. Like, they don't care as much as you think they do.
I'm glad you said that, because that's like one of the main principles that have underlined my artistry, because it's something that's kind of affects me. So
I always remind myself that, right?
Yeah, I think for me it's hard because I don't have a fun time thinking about other people's like perceptions. Yeah. It's really not fun,
dude. But at the end of the day, right? Regardless of, for the majority, regardless of someone's perception of what you're creating, you're going to have their respect. Yeah. Right? That you went out there. There's a lot of people whose, music I don't really care for, or whose art I'm like, whatever. But I respect them for going out there, putting themselves out there. Yeah. And I would shake their hand and I would be like, yes, you are a valuable person, and I thank you for doing that. Yeah. Right? So respect that.
The value comes from the vulnerability.
Yeah.
And that's a good point.
And the people who are going to hate on you, and probably me too, they don't realize that. Yeah. Right? And it's a really big shame to them.
I think of like the people that I might kind of shit on a little, like, because we all do it. It's like, I think of like mumble rappers, like people who don't really rap about like substance, and like, I know it's kind of cliche, but I really like feel like it, like, I don't know, I get kind of hostile, and maybe I shouldn't, because I don't want that same feeling. But at the end of the day, you're right. Music is music. Art is art. So I feel like.
But is it art? Is it coming from who they truly are as a person, or is it coming from them wanting to conform, what we talked about, and from them being swayed by industry standards? Right?
That is a good question.
If you gosh,
next time.
Because I don't think you can't, like, you're making songs, you're doing it for money at the end of the day, right? I'm on the same boat as you. I still respect it because you were able to get yourself onto this platform through spitting these bars. Do I like your bars? Probably not. Will I bop to them in the gym? Most definitely, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm hating, but I'm still listening to it.
Exactly. It's like it still feeds your soul in like a weird way.
but I respect these people. Right. And
kind of like
I have plenty of criticism for them. Plenty. I have like plates and plates and folders that if I saw them, I would tell them. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, I respect you. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That you got there, and by all means, good for you. Right?
No, exactly. I mean, and it can still bring people together. So.
Yeah, I'm with you. So last you told me you had like 15 songs on your album. Yeah. In that range, right?
Yep.
What was the process like of just going through it over about a little over a semester, getting people recording, mixing, mastering?
Dude, I'm so happy.
Tell me about the process.
I'm so happy you answered, like, you could ask me that question. Dude, that's been the whole journey for the past like 2 seasons. I
You're
knew
geeking out.
yeah,
Let's
dude,
go.
I'm geeking out because dude, this stuff is so real. Oh my god, it hits a place in my soul.
Yeah, yeah.
I started just with wanting to do something. I think we all want to do something, like create something. I love like the ideas of I love big ideas. So I'll like, oh, do I like want to make an album like with like a million songs?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Quantity is not quality, but it went like stress, anxiety of making song
Mhm.
to take time to breathe
Yeah, yeah.
to let's go on GarageBand and fuck around
Yeah.
to oh my god, I have a demo of something.
Yeah.
And this is a big chain to like, okay, now let's kind of revise it a little.
Sure.
Oh, let's do it. I got it. I got this down. I got a second demo. And
Yeah.
I'm like, but there's something that needs to be tuned on with the piano. There
Right.
needs to be more bass on like the 808. So I go back to it. Oh. Is everything good?
I've never heard that sound before.
That's kind of creepy.
All right. Anyways.
But it goes like back and forth between revising, feeling good, and that's the kind of the arc I went through because I'm super like happy with whatever I like create, almost too happy because like then I kind of become trigger happy and like I don't revise it enough.
Oh.
So that's the thing. Like if you go through my phones and files, you'll see like 18 demos of the same thing because I
Right.
feel so happy with each one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so you
Yeah,
understand.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, and then after
Like,
that,
which one do I
right?
choose?
And that was only making that beat, and now I have to write lyrics.
Mhm.
And lyrics is better because I like most like it only takes like 2 or 3 revisions or something.
Yeah.
Because I tend to go all or nothing there.
Right.
And then but after that so now the summer phase is done, fall has begun, and I've been anticipating the sound rooms. Now I go to sound room like 1 and 4 like 2 times 3 times a week, and that can kind of be stressful. I mean, like, because I need to make the most of my time there, and sometimes, and then here comes the coming back part. Like, I'll spend like 2 weeks on like the same song. I'm like, dude, what
Right.
am I doing? But because like sometimes like I go in there and I don't have enough time to record everything.
Mhm.
Sometimes I go in there and like I'll notice I don't have a pop filter, so I have too many pops. Yeah.
Suggest because I had that right. I recorded
Mhm.
a song with no pop filter. You go to the EQ. You take the volume. There's a line for volume on GarageBand. I don't know about BandLab, but you can adjust the volume for different parts of your recording for the same track, and for the places where you have the plosives, you can actually see like there's a distinct pattern. I forgot what it looks like, but you can just like decrease the volume a little bit, and it makes the biggest difference.
Well, I wish I knew that before.
I know. No, I've been there. I actually I made this song in a nutshell, right?
Dude, I love that song.
I so
Stream in a nutshell on SoundCloud. True me.
thank you. Yeah. Well, but I did it for an audition for an open mic, and I had a day to write the lyrics, make a beat, and record it.
Yeah.
So I did all of that, and then I have it all done, and I feel good. And then my housemate Wes, you remember Wes, right? Long hair. He's like, Mike, you gotta like put on some studio grade headphones because I was just using like crappy little earbuds. And he's like, pop, 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 pop. I'm like, and I'm freaking out because I have to send my final. I have my open mic, did it, done, and then turns out on the open mic I wasn't even supposed to put my audio track on top of it. Hoop was like, Mike, you can't be doing that, bro. Like, imagine Hoop talking. Dude,
I love you, Hooper, if you're listening to this, but yeah.
Yeah, dude, had me absolutely geeking. So you're in the process of creating these 15 songs. How do you deal with frustration during the album creating process?
It's like the common denominator of time moves on. You can't change the past.
Yeah.
It's constant exercising of that muscle. Like, let's just live in the present. Like, what's happened has happened. What are you going to do about it? I think that's like the most important thing.
Sure.
The most important thing. I have a song, I think you listened to it. It's in the album, it's called Bloom After Dark. And the symbol of it is we're growing and we're blooming. And how do we bloom? Well,
we're growing and we're blooming. Okay.
We're blooming by staying in the present moment.
Yeah.
And so the chorus of it goes, right now, I'm living in the future, or I'm hyper in the future.
I know.
And right now, I'm hyper in the future, visible by night. So I'm at the end of the day, and now I'm living in I'm living in the future from the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
But I'm still here.
Right.
Visible by night. Breathing in the past, still bone and blood absorbed all of this infrared light, or absorb all this light.
Right.
Like our bodies are always working for us.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I didn't get that. I didn't go to the studio this day and I feel shitty about it. I don't care. Your body doesn't care. It's still trying to work for you. Like,
Yeah.
I got this new tattoo.
Whoa. Whoa.
I mean, it's kind of gross with the scab.
What?
It's awesome.
Dude.
This is a little dude.
Okay, so we have the mushroom. We have the little dude.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but
That's trippy.
yeah, I love it.
We'll
but
talk about the tattoo.
anyways, yeah, it's just a meditative tattoo. It's just
Wow.
anyways, the point of me saying this is that you can see the scabbing, right?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful process of your skin trying to regenerate itself and heal itself.
Yeah.
So your body doesn't care about what you think.
Right.
It's still trying to help you. So why would I try to go against myself? Like, why would I still like ruminate on the past? Why would I still like try to be perfectionistic about the future? And so kind of that's the whole idea of it. And that's to answer your question, kind of.
Are you a reflective person? Do you value reflection in your life?
I think deeply.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that because, I think spending too much time in the past or the future is unhealthy, but it is also of the utmost importance to actively, at a certain time and under certain control, reflect. Look back into the past, what you've done, your thought processes, but it has to be done in control, like journaling, right?
Yes.
Sometimes I look back on what I've written, music. Sometimes I go back and what I've listened to, how I thought, how I felt. But you cannot be taken control of.
Totally 1,000%, 1,000,000% agree. Like, there is a purpose on why we think of the past and thinking of the future. The only problem is we tend to lose that purpose in the midst of it. Like, okay, well, like, nothing would exist if we couldn't think about stuff that we want, like, that we want to happen in the future. So, yeah.
It's important to dream. Dave Chappelle, actually, he recently had a stand-up. I don't know if you saw it, but it's like Dreamer, something like that on Netflix. But he said, like, I was the best dreamer. That's how I became successful. And it's important to look. So we talked about the past, but it's important to look into the future. Have a clear dream, right? And then just have the courage to keep going at it and at it.
Yeah.
Because what I'm struggling with, I don't have a clear dream, right? And that's okay, right? God has intended me to go through this, and it will be shown at me eventually. But I'm building up the skill set, primarily through discipline and emotional maturity. So when that time comes, just like grab that opportunity, have my blade will be sharp, and just like.
I love how you worded that.
Keep going, man.
It's not. Is the time gonna come? It's when the time comes.
And be ready. Because Billy Joel in Vienna, he says, and you know when the truth is old, you can get what you want or you can just get old.
Yeah.
Vienna, but like the truth will be shown.
Yeah.
Right. As humans, I think it is our one of our birthrights to be shown what we are truly meant to be, clear as day.
Clear as day.
Maybe one time, but we will know, and we can either go for it or we can let it slip. And most people, they let it slip, right? Because it's hard.
It's hard.
There is no shame in not being able to chase your future, because sometimes, your situation might not let you to.
Yeah.
There's always excuses, and a lot of these excuses are quite valid.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm building myself up, so when the time comes, I'm not going to be complacent.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, you know what? Screw it.
It's funny, like these almost philosophical ideas are exactly what are going to be on my album. Like, I have the song with
awesome.
Yeah, I have a song with Carter that is called Shinigami Eyes, and
I'll link your album in the descriptions.
Yeah, when it comes out, that is.
Yeah, or or look your Spotify. So like our
cool.
Our 27 subscribers will have. I saw you subscribed. I appreciate it.
Of course.
We'll gain access to it.
Yeah, no, but our song is the message is like, I feel like half my life's been boring, like I got a Shinigami mind. I feel like half my life's been cut so boring, like I got a Shinigami mind or Shinigami eyes, and I'm like blah blah blah. And so the like what that kind of the song kind of entails is like we sent here to live, like walking barely alive. Like why are we just doing everything like for survival? It feels like the world that we live in is like we're so on top of like we need to make money, we need to survive. There's got to be like, and then another lyric is within life, there's life. There's
Within
life.
I got you. I
You
got
got
you.
me.
I got you.
So yeah, I like how you mentioned that point right there.
Within life, there is life. That's
yeah.
also very well put.
You know, and that kind of goes in my head all the time. I'm like, damn, life can be so beautiful if you let it.
Of course.
Obviously, it's not that simple, and like things have like it's God's plan. Like it's Source plan. It's everything's happening for a reason. But I think that at the end of the day, having that option to always kind of reflect a little and kind of understand what you need and what you deserve by right, a birthright.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like that.
How important do you think faith is during this process? Any faith. I'm not just talking about Christian faith, any faith.
I think it's of most importance when I think about it. Like of utmost importance.
Of the utmost importance.
Yeah, because I didn't like have a sense of spirituality before college, but having faith that something better is always like meant for you in a way is always like kind of what's driving me.
Yeah.
So each day I know I'm getting better and there's something that's beautiful, and I tell myself just wait, like, you know, it's like it's coming. When I meditate internally, I say I will what will find me, or what I say, it's like what is meant for me will find me.
What is meant for you will find you. Yeah.
That mantra is very powerful.
Yeah.
Everything is aligning.
Do you think you have freedom of will though when it comes to that?
You know, that's a very funny and interesting discussion. I talk with Noel about this all the time.
Yep, I've had this kind of.
Oh, Noel. Noel has so many ideas.
Oh yeah.
I feel like things are like you have this beautiful way of growth, and I think growth doesn't have to happen in one specific way, and that is where your free will comes. Like your free will to choose what you want in life, what you think is best for you. Like that's the beauty of life right there, because now you feel like, okay, like I did this.
Yeah.
But underneath all of that, actually, it's funny you say that, because I listen to like a lot of spiritual guys on like YouTube and stuff, and one of them says that there's like this super conscious underneath everything. It's like, think about like being on psychedelics or something, like strip God.
Right.
And then there's your subconscious, which is the operator of the everything.
Yeah.
And then now you have your ego, your conscious mind, which is now you have to understand the operator.
Yeah.
Like, and that's hard. But yeah, so that's my faith.
I got you.
If you don't mind talking about it, does your faith kind of resemble what I kind of talked about?
Yeah. So my faith, I believe there is a God.
Yeah.
Everything points to a more complex form of life. After all, life breeds life. That is a given. If you're balling with evolution, life breeds life.
Yeah.
We cannot have come out of nothingness. That goes against everything. That goes against evolution and science, right? And my faith is also backed up on feeling, right? Because we all talk about logic. We've gotten to the point where we worship the rational mind. Sometimes, bro, you got to feel it out, right? That's our intuition. That's our gut. That's our soul.
Have you ever heard of the wise mind?
No.
You just said perfectly like what could be the wise mind. So you said the rational mind, think of it as like a Venn diagram. You have the rational mind and then the feeling mind, and then in between the rational feeling mind is the wise mind. It's understanding your feelings and rationality. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, because our feelings have just as much weight as our thoughts. Like an example, right? With music, more often I don't remember the lyrics. I don't even remember the song name or the artist. I remember how it made me feel, and that's why I enjoy it, right? But that's why I believe in God. And I think it's important for everyone, and I respect everyone's ideologies,
Mhm.
but with faith often comes a group of people who have their own interpretation
Mhm.
of it. And we are in the point in, history where we're able to choose a faith where we want and not be condemned to the same extent we were
Yeah.
in the past, right?
Yeah.
For me, that comes with Christian groups,
Yeah.
right? Specifically Catholics. I'm not Catholic, but I judge a religious community based. I judge a religion based off of its community, and the Newman Center at Umass, the people there, the values they've taught me have created the most profound growth in my entire life.
It's amazing.
Like, it's changed me completely, and I'm so thankful, right? So I feel, and I haven't been going to it as much, right? Based off of some, things I've been going through, specifically whether or not Christ is God, right? That I have a tough time believing in that.
We could have a whole discussion about
Right.
that.
And it's just, I just feel honored to have been in the presence that I actually stumbled there. It's pretty funny how I came into it too. So when I joined college, right, I was urged to join a Christian community. Now, I'm Orthodox Christian, right? I was baptized. Never practiced it growing up, just, something, a checklist of, you're young, right?
Yeah.
And when I joined college, I said, hey, you're in college. My mom, she's like, join some sort of religious community. I'm like, okay, So I see Orthodox, Newman Center, 7 p.m. I go. And I'm looking for, like 10-ish people, like Greek Orthodox, Russian Orthodox, Middle Eastern Orthodox, right? I go in. And, some 10 people, okay. I sit down and I see there's a priest giving a speech on traditional masculinity. And I'm sitting down, okay, this makes sense.
Okay.
Valid. Oh, maybe not this so much. Okay, but this, okay.
Yeah.
The majority, I'm like, okay, this hits. Why haven't I heard about this before? Like, what? So it kept me coming back, and it strengthened my faith with God.
Yeah.
And the one thing, right? So we talked about Buddhism, and my main disagreement with Buddhism, and I came to this conclusion. I was like, am I more Christian? Am I more Buddhist?
Sure.
Where do my values align?
Sure.
I love how Buddhists want to get rid of desire,
Yeah.
right? But I think you need desire. And I think it's more having control over your desire, right? And because I think my desire is going to lead me to becoming the person that I'm meant to become.
Yeah.
And by eliminating that desire, don't get me wrong, I'm still one with this world. I'm there.
Yeah.
But I don't think I can achieve that, right?
And that kind of goes back into what we were talking about with discipline and disciplining yourself for the desires to be kind of checked off.
Yeah. But it's also like your desire, it cannot be mixed up who you're truly meant to be, right? If it's your desire for money, no, screw that, right? Go meditate, get out, right? But if it's your desire, like, let's say, I don't know, I'm meant to be a professional podcaster, right? Let's say that's what I truly want to be. I need desire for that. I need that burning motivation. Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. I was just like, jumping around.
No, I literally just loved kind of listening to you there.
Yeah.
And so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I consider myself I don't know. I think I consider myself Buddhist, but if that's just like putting a label on things, because I consider myself to still have desires. I just believe in compassion to be the ultimate kind of source of everything. So that's where my Buddhist kind of roots come from. But you're talking about like you need community to have faith.
Yeah.
Do you think someone could then have faith if they what if their faith and like spiritual kind of background was so individual where it didn't have a community? That's a very like nuanced question. I don't even know the answer.
99.9 to the 10th power % of people need community.
Okay.
Because you see it with your own eyes. People who are living the same life, people who are pursuing these values of virtue, which value like the strive for virtuosity. I assign with the religion, right? With a belief in God.
Sure.
Right? Any religion, they tell you to be, they all speak about virtuous traits. and it's very hard doing it on your own because we're humans. Like, we all fail,
Yeah.
right? Like, we are sinful creatures at the end of the day. Now,
Yeah.
this is also something else, I kind of disagree with the church, that I think there is a possibility to transcend sin. Again, it's like the 0.001% who can do it, but most of us, we need the community to back us up, to grow together. Because also, as humans, we're meant to be around people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And faith is not just, like a side hustle, a side hobby. It's your entire life. It's your foundation.
Oh.
And you need people who share that same foundation to keep you
yeah.
going, to strengthen your belief. And whatever your, faith is, it's just like, not even just faith, right? In your career, in your interests, like freestyling, right?
Yep.
It's so much better with community, is it not?
No,
Meditation, so much better with community.
It is.
Like, you need community.
Yeah.
And for us, because we're into really niche things, right?
Yeah.
It's hard finding that community.
It is. I think that's why I asked you that question, because I tend to be kind of like, oh, I can do this like myself. Like before, I didn't even think of like finding like meditation club because I was so independent with it. But after joining, it was like
independent with it.
Yeah, it hit different though. Like it hit different just being with people and like I said, being inspired by the collective.
Sure.
I'm glad you said that faith has a foundation of, it's your foundation. It's not just like a side hustle.
Yeah.
I think that's something I'm still trying to figure out. Like truly, like I'm trying to figure out like where does my faith lie in everything? Like my faith in like oneness, my faith in like source, my faith in like.
You want to merge your source, right?
I don't want. Well, I want source to align.
Yeah.
Alignment. I think about alignment. I also have another.
You want to become the Buddha, right? No, because think like the Buddha said, everyone else, people can become me.
Yeah.
Through transcending desire.
Because I still have desire though.
Yeah.
Like
Are you trying to get rid of it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that I'm trying to understand it.
Got it.
Yeah. So you tie it to like hell and heaven.
Yeah, heaven and hell are like, pieces of the pie.
Okay.
Pieces of the pie, dude. But there's like, there's so much more that on the daily, like we have such a negative connotation around, why they called cannabis marijuana? Actually, this is a fun fact.
No.
So it was brought up by, Hispanics from Mexico to the US, and it was often used by the, black community, African Americans in the South. Now, when it was brought to the white community, and again, with the war on drugs, they called it marijuana to give it like, like an ethnic ring to it.
Yeah.
So, the white community at the time who would want to like, be a little bit more segregated wouldn't dabble with it, right?
Yeah,
That's a huge, actually, reason why the cannabis is called marijuana.
Yeah, marijuana.
Marijuana, yeah. I think cannabis and psychedelics, I see them separately in terms of their effect and usage, but
that's pretty.
yeah.
Man.
What
Yeah,
I'm curious to know. Yeah, I'm also curious to know, right? So, the cannabis industry is booming right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dispensaries everywhere. Are you pleased with the way things are going? Do you think there should be any sort of repercussions held, or anything that can be done differently?
No, I mean, like, I don't know my total views on the issue of the weeds. But I think that, I don't know. I think that I kind of compare it to like, I compare any drug or any mind-altering substance to one another, like alcohol, for example.
Yeah.
I don't think that, in my opinion, I don't think that weed's any worse than alcohol. Because, like you said, it's all about moderation. It's all about like, if you take too much alcohol, you could die. Like if you do too much weed, I don't think there's too many studies of that.
I don't think you can die.
But you can. But it still harms you. There's a lot of studies that shows that negatively impacts your like memory, like your hippocampus shrinks or something.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like it because like I would consider like myself like a weed advocate.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of plus medicinal properties of it. Which you're definitely aware of,
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm for it. I think that things should be the way they are because there's a reason.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that psychedelics. I'm very interested in the medicinal properties of it, and I think it's a renaissance of psychedelic medicine.
Let me tell you Netflix documentary.
Sure.
Also for the audience, but
Yeah.
they made a really good, they made a really good series on it. Also, Meet the Parents is pretty good. Meet the Fockers, my bad.
Meet the Fockers.
Psychedelics. What's it called? Yeah, How to Change Your Mind. This one.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of that one.
This one is celebrities talking about their psychedelic experience, but this one is like more clinical.
Right.
Really good watch.
Right.
I made Nate watch it too. Yeah.
I love how like you're kind of like the big bro to Nate in a way.
Dude, he's sometimes a big bro to me. Like when it comes to navigating Christianity, like he's a textbook.
Right. I could see that.
Right.
I could see that.
But it's also like that's the thing in friendship, right? There's mutual things where you bond over things that there's better than you, things that you're not. Like,
sure.
You know so much more about meditation and mindfulness than I do. Like we bond over freestyling, and it's like I think the best friendships you guys grow together.
Exactly. Like what I do, I learned so much like about just like being confident in yourself and like communication with you. Because like even this is a communicative almost thing, like connecting with people. I'm pretty like turtle.
Right? Like it's just, growing, connecting. That is friendship at its core. And that's actually something that's lacking with friendship, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've experienced it, but a lot of friends are just like, yeah, man, what did you do this weekend?
Yeah.
Man, what you trying to do Friday? Oh, Thursday's going to be lit tonight, man.
Yeah.
And like that's part of the reason why I started this podcast. Like, push people through conversation, like learn things, come to conclusions we never thought we could have.
Yeah.
It's like, freestyling or journaling.
Yeah.
Right?
I really like that you mentioned that. Like, oh shit, let's go partying on Friday or something. Because that's something in my mind. I'm like, damn, dude, I do want to party. Like, I'll admit, like, I want to go out and stuff.
Valid.
Like, but I'm like, how can I have this boundary of it being like healthy, like a healthy like release almost? Because I think a lot of people use it as an escape. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It could go to a different kind of like tangent there. But I don't know. It's just been something I've been thinking about a lot. I mean, like the real meaning of connection, because I find so much connection where I didn't even think I'd find it. Like every connection I've made, including you, is with like places I wouldn't have never guessed like 6 years ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what is your ideal form? Like, what's your ideal setting for a party?
Dude, good question. Damn. Okay.
How you getting lit, bro?
Yeah, how you getting dumb? Lately, it's been just being with supportive people.
Yeah.
Like people you can firmly say, like, I trust you in my circle.
Yeah, like I trust you to be like I trust to be around you under the influence, and even if if it's the right night, to be extensively under the influence.
Yeah, and if it's with like people, like obviously because parties are about socializing to a big extent, with people that care about the same shit as I do. So if we're gonna be under the influence, I want to talk about meditation. I want to talk about spirituality. I want to talk about psychedelics, like we're doing right now, because I get so hyper when I'm on like any substance. But and like for example, like I would rather choose that, like maybe like a group of like even like 5 people.
Sure.
Versus like going to like some kind of bar where I can't I might as well just go there alone.
Yeah, because you can't hear anything.
I can't hear anything. I can't even I can't feel comfortable with myself. With if you haven't noticed, I've been looking at the table every 5 seconds. But that's the way I talk,
Yeah,
and that's probably not acceptable in other places. But I don't know. So that's the reason why there's a purpose for everything, and for me, it's about like the conversation.
No, dude, it's really cool that you touched on that. And I went to the bars at Umass one time. That's all I needed. I went in with like some of my guy friends.
Sure.
Really good group of guys. I'm not like saying anything against them, but we all sat down, got a pitcher of beer. We're like trying to scream over each other to talk. And what were we talking about? Like nothing.
Like
really
what?
Nothing really substantial, right? I couldn't go and talk to anyone else because I don't know. I feel weird introducing myself to you by screaming out loud. Like how am I going to go up and be like, hey, like hi, yeah, what? It's just not organic.
Yeah, man, that's a good point. Every connection I made has been so organic in a way. Like, oh, we just met.
Yeah.
I remember I just saw you like come to freestyle the first time we did it, like at the Bartlett 51.
Dude.
When you had long hair, I'm just like, yo, this
Dude.
dude's passionate, man. I mess with it, you know. Like, I was thinking that. I'm like, dude, who's Noel? Like, dude, who's this guy? Like,
Yeah.
bro, I'm happy right now. Anyways, but to that point, like, I can't like stress enough that like like it depends on the people, because I have the same group of like
Yeah.
people like exactly how you described. They're good people.
Yeah.
They're just, I don't know, it's like a once a week at most, you know.
Dude, but sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people, and then I have like a backtrack question following this, but a lot of people, don't worry. A lot of people feel that they have to be surrounded by others all the time, by friends, right? Because they can't deal with their own thoughts. They're scared of the boredom. They're scared to be alone, right? And if you really pay attention, like, it's very prevalent. So many people at campus, I see it all the time.
Yeah.
You need to be surrounded.
Yeah.
But then the value of spending time with people, it goes away. And it's just, think about like a relationship, right? So, and you have, the couples who are always around each other 24/7.
Yeah.
Bro, do your thing. Like, okay, I'm not, but you're not going to appreciate your significant other as much as like, hey, I'm miss you like 2-3 times this week. We're going to study a bit, go on a date on, Friday, maybe go on a hike on Sunday.
Yeah.
You're going to enjoy that time so much better.
Yeah.
And by having separation amongst yourselves, you're giving each of yourselves like the time and room to grow. And then when you guys meet up, you're going to have so much more to talk about, so much more to, get to.
Yeah.
So like you need time on your own to grow.
Yes.
And the real ones,
dude, that's the phase, man. It's the phase of right now that I think that a lot of people are learning to be with themselves a little better. I mean, I think that's my prediction for 2024. I think that's the prediction, because I feel like people are going to realize what you just said. Like, because I agree with you that like if you spend too much time, or you spend too much time and it becomes something that is not a beautiful connection and more of like a reliance.
Reliance.
Yeah. Then you're not understanding where you like are missing. Like you're feeling your needs through someone else, and I think that's something that takes so much time to grow. Like it's something that it's an important idea for people to discuss. Because I did that like last year.
Always being around people, or just learning how to be on your own? Which one?
Kind of like I think maybe last semester, but last year was like a situationship. I hate that term, but like where I kind of like felt like I need to like prove or something. Like I need to like be with people or be with this girl to like feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And what's the point if I look back at at those memories and feel like I could have been happier if I like, I don't know, took care of myself.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Self-care is a really like big thing. I can't even like begin to like fully grasp it. It's just something that feels easy to say, but it's a constant process of like you learn it and understand it.
Dude, constant.
Yeah, constant. Exactly.
Constant. Yeah, and it can be overwhelming.
It can be.
Yeah, just so overwhelming.
But that's why like it's counterintuitive, right? Because like how do I self-care the right way? Like I'm just like being mad at myself for like not doing this day, not doing that day. Like, oh shit, I skipped like my workout in the morning. Like I forgot to go to this club and I feel bad about myself. It's like, well, self-care is about like, I think like I said before, it's about reminding yourself like, well, why do these things matter to you? Right. So
you also have to give yourself tough love.
Yeah, you're a big proponent of the tough love.
I am, because I used to be swayed by my desires all the time.
Yeah, man, you're talking about that like like you're the football varsity
all the time.
Yeah.
Like it was I look back and it's like, oh, like fire. Like, those are some fire times. But were they the right times? Were they the times that the life that I want to be living, the way that my life that is worth living,
Right.
does not line up with that time. And it's just like you have to, because you have to something I've been doing during meditation. I don't know if you practice this, but I let myself love myself. I just feel the love I have for myself, not in like a narcissistic or vain way. I just want to like show myself how much I care, right? Because sometimes I'm lost in the cycle of being here, being there, and I forget, And part of that is just you messed up, you don't want to do this, get up, you do it, because long term you're gonna feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
You're gonna earn it.
I think that's what I went through today, actually. Like, when I was literally just doom scrolling.
Yeah.
I applied that kind of like tough love, and I was like, no, dude,
Right.
like I have power. Like, again, living in the present. Let me just go like put this down.
Facts.
It was hard though, and I just like wrote though, and I feel good now. Like right now, I feel good.
Yeah.
Like
That's
I have
amazing.
a new creation now, like because I did that. But what were you talking about? There was a point I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
You mentioned. I kind of forgot though. I hope it comes back.
Yeah, I mean, an example, like you say you're doom scrolling. I was jogging today, right? And then there's this one hill that every now and then I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this hill. I'm going up and I'm down. Like, Michael, don't be a bitch. Like, you've done this before. Like, don't pussy out of this.
Sure.
Right? And like through pushing myself, I got up, right, and I felt amazing after, because I'm aware of my body and I know when I can push through something and when I can't, right? This is one of those times when I could push through it. It was just like my brain, walk. I'm like, no, don't do it. So it's like, it depends, and you have to build up the extent of the toughness you have on yourself, right? Because it's also important to be like, hey, Mike, you've been working your ass off all week. You deserve to spend a day in your bed eating McDonald's,
Yeah, exactly.
smoking up, and doing nothing, right? And watching movies. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, me too.
Right? But you have to earn it.
Yeah.
You can't just do that every day. Like, you earn that day.
Yeah.
Right? And you put your feet up, you enjoy that time.
That is a good way to describe like tough love. That because like, I was literally on that vibe like last week.
That's not tough love, but it's a result of tough love.
Exactly.
Being able to enjoy that time.
You set up rewards. You set up like long-term dopamine, long-term kind of gratitude. What we talk about a lot. What I was talking about though, you're talking about like self-love when you meditate. Yeah. Like for me, it's been always like I try not to overcomplicate it.
Right.
Like I think something that's really important in meditation, especially, is that when problems arise, like when we have negative thoughts about ourselves, or when we have like this anxiety, or we're not doing something right, well, you being there is doing something right. Like you literally taking a breath is the freest thing and the most constant thing in the world, just breathing.
Preach.
Like fucking, we're life, we breathe. So it's like, as long as you're breathing, man, in my opinion, you're doing something good. Like, in my opinion, like, you have every reason to be happy with yourself. And what I like to do is, when those thoughts inevitably kind of go away, or if they're just swarming you, like you're not good, or like you don't love yourself, or like you know, bad beliefs, I like to literally just breathe it out and focus on my heart center. Like, I literally just shift attention to my heart center. And what happens is, every time I feel like at least I have the intention.
Yeah.
It's about intention.
Eddie, what's your meditation routine? Like, what do because like, do you switch it up? Like, you have your
I wanna talk about that,
20-minute meditation block, but like, how do you go through it?
Yeah, no. I love that question. I've been meditating a lot more, so I love it. At night, I like to do it because by then I'm like kind of tired, so it's like simpler. And getting in touch, I like to first do like, well, it depends on the day. But for me, it's been about self-worth meditation. Yeah. And I love to believe in the chakra system. The chakra system is about like your energetic kind of aura in a way.
Sure.
And I love to chant mantras to myself. And it's like a combination of mantras, like affirmations and attention. And like attention to like certain areas of my body, like on my spinal cord. And these days it's been...
Why the spinal cord?
Because it's like a vertical kind of... You can imagine your chakras aligning. And it depends on the day. Some days where I feel like I should shut up, I put my attention on my throat chakra. Some days where I feel some days where I feel like I'm more self-hateful, I put my attention on the center of my chest, the heart chakra. But these days I've been focusing on kind of like my stomach, which is a sea of energy. It's a sacral chakra.
It's a what?
It's called the sacral chakra.
Sacral.
Yeah, sacral.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah.
No, because I didn't know this. I appreciate you bringing these chakras up.
Yeah, no, I do that. I literally just kind of shift attention, and it's that easy because we can do that. We have the conscious power to shift attention whenever we want. And then the other part, I think it comes kind of more like naturally, I guess, to me. Like I'll say to myself, like, what is waiting will find me. Like in my head, these are the things I'll say very calmly. I'll say, what is waiting for me will find me. Everything is working out the way it is supposed to be working out. There is no reason to not love yourself. I need to get in like the headspace for it, so I'm sorry if like the mood just changed, but what do I say? It's like a freestyle, man. I'm just reflecting.
Yeah, dude, take your time.
It's along the ballpark of that, and there's like a lot of like around that ballpark, and it's really good. You can like kind of redefine yourself. Oh, another thing I say is sensitivity is not a weakness. It is my superpower.
Yeah.
Like the reason I feel bad about myself is all a distortion. Is a distortion of by which I perceived myself not to meet a standard, but I'm just returning to who I really am. Like, but I say that in not a podcast way.
Yeah.
Like not in like
that's beautiful.
Something like that, you know. It is beautiful, and I think it's really beautiful because I think we all have the power to give ourselves those affirmations. And I know not a lot of people kind of like need affirmations as much as they need just simple intention setting. Like, like I tell myself too, like in very like meditative way, I say, I intend to be, ohms are good. It's like,
yeah, way to flex on with your own.
No. Let that ring though, like, you know.
Yeah.
Remember when we did that ohm practice at the last meditation?
Dude, that hit. That hit.
I know, it's amazing.
I also wanted to, like, I can't tell you how much you because when we were doing the body scan, you had us scan, like, do a body scan at our genitals too, right? I think that's something that's very much missing in guided meditation because our genitals are a place of a lot of energy, right? A lot. And by like, you know, doing a body scan and understanding like where you're at the time being, like, it needs to be more opened up. So you're a pioneer in that realm.
Dude, I want to be. I mean, I just want to. I see everyone as a pioneer in a way but they just need to kind of get in touch with, like, I don't know. I think for me, I'm kind of all or nothing in a way where, like, if I'm gonna like be a leader, like, or if I want to like help people, if I want to like really transmit my ideas, like, you're gonna have to live with it, even if you don't like, if it's like cringy or something.
Do you want to be a leader?
That's a question I ask myself all the time. I think I want to, for sometimes, honestly, the wrong reasons. Like, the reasons of, like, I want, like, almost like it's diluted, like, power, or diluted, like, influence, and diluted, like position of voice. But it doesn't make sense because everything I say, it comes from my heart. So I don't know if I want to be a leader as much as I just simply want to be a quiet, like, influencer, you know? Because whenever I think about, like, me performing, for example, like my rap, it kind of goes into this idealistic state of, like, I love, like, being in the center of the spotlight, but I'm missing the point of bringing people together. So it's almost like if I switch my intention towards like wanting kind of leadership, it's almost like synonymous with power, and that's when my brain gets a little stupid.
And that's very selfless of you to come to that conclusion, right? Because on a I think about this like as a basketball team, right? We love basketball, but you know, there's role players, right? You can't have everyone dropping 28 points a game, right?
No.
And it's, you know, just as important for the guy to get the boards all the time. Oh no, we're going back to Chicago Bull references. Shout out Dennis Rodman, bro. You got to get the boards.
Yeah.
Right? That's just as important as I don't think just as important, but also a very high value.
No, exactly.
As
In order to win basketball games, you need several components.
Yeah.
So basically how I translate that, and that was a beautiful analogy, is that like if I like focus on trying to be Jason Tatum or something, like the best on the team, like the best on the squad or whatever, like the one with the most clout,
Sure.
then my mind goes into poo-poo mode. Like, you know, and I think
you let the pressure get to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's a human thing, and I recognize that. So I'm just like, nah. Sometimes it's cool. I mean, you see Derek White; he gets all the love, you know.
No, Jaylen Brown. But like,
Yeah,
that man is a consistent bucket.
Yeah,
no one gives him the respect he deserves.
dude. No one.
He's a consistent bucket and a playoff master.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, like watching him in the playoffs is like I'd rather watch. Well, okay, because Jason, Tatum,
he's just
very like he's inconsistent, right, in the playoffs. Jaylen Brown, bro, like I know he's gonna give me 20. That's all I care about.
Yeah. You're right.
Right.
And that's again like Jason Tatum is like he probably feels that pressure all the time of like, oh, I need to hit this clutch shot, and like I can't live with that, and I can't live with like that feeling of responsibility of like I need to be the voice for everyone. Like I just want to be a voice when they need it, when the universe calls for it. And if I'm needed, I will definitely help. Like if people call for me, or if like it's all about feeling of energy in a way.
Right.
Like for example, that last meditation we had, and I think that I really enjoyed that session, and people were kind of brought together in a way with the body scan. It's stuff like that where like I just don't want to overthink it, and next time, I'm just gonna do whatever my kind of gear switching calls for.
Yeah, go with your gut.
Go with my gut.
Dude, it's there for a reason, right? It's been built up by experience, right? That's how you're getting your gut. I'm so with you on that.
So
that's
one
amazing.
small comment.
Yeah, dude, sure.
The gut's amazing. For so many reasons. So many reasons. It's like the second most amount, I think, of neurons, which is brain cells. Literally brain cells, yes.
What?
Yes, and like you don't think of that, but like because everything's from your spine. Your spine is like your motor.
What?
Yeah, dude, it's nuts. It's freaking nuts.
Yeah.
And like that's why we have gut feelings or butterflies in our stomach.
Oh.
Yeah, because your brain sends messages to your gut all the time, and like it is the second. Like you can search it on YouTube. It's like the second place where like interpreting like good or bad feelings, like, and then it sends messages. Like it's really important. Listen to your gut, people.
Dude,
listen to your gut.
What?
Your gut's your best friend.
I appreciate the science behind that.
Yeah, dude. And think about
Jeez, dude.
if I had to explain it scientifically, it's just it's your brain, and like the central nervous system is composed of your brainstem and your spine cord, your spine, and your spine basically operates your whole nervous system, and that's how we feel, right? That's how we're feeling and interpreting whatever is on the outside as something, because our spine is basically giving nerve cells to like each of our like appendages and like everywhere, even like to our genitals, wherever.
Sure.
But anyways, the gut's the most beautiful part, in my opinion.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Eddie, I want to thank you very much for hopping on the Silent Smirk today. You've been an excellent guest. I really enjoyed going back to back with you. You gave me some great questions, great responses, taught me a lot about science. If there's any closing remarks you want to add, please do so. Do it to the camera. Let them know let the audience know where they can find you at, and what you might be planning.
Yeah, I love being on, man, but I don't know if I'm planning anything more than I just want to like send a message to people that we are a unified being of constant growth, and no matter what, like, because Michael is someone of growth. He's like he's a freaking like like almost like you can idealize people that have such amazing routines and habits. Like I seriously idealize Mike sometimes, you know, of
Thank
like, yeah, like, you know, going to the gym in the morning and stuff. But I think at the end of the day, man, it's all about your journey. And I remind you to have compassion for yourself while you learn, because learning is not easy. And yeah, gang, gang. I'm going to release a Golden Orchid Blooms in hopefully spring, hopefully February to March. A Golden Orchid on Apple Music, Spotify, yada, yada. So yeah, that's all.
Guys, this has been Eddie Zhou. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, comments, correct us, tell us what we could do better, what you guys liked. We appreciate everything, right? We, as in me, Nate's studying abroad in Scotland this semester, so we're down to co-host. But yeah, please interact with our content. Let us know what you think. Again, we are the Silent Smirk or Silent Smirk on most platforms. We're back, 2024. Stay updated. Peace.
Oh yeah.